to Maths on Radio, a program catalyzed and supported by National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Department of Science and Technology, New Delhi.
सोचो सीखो बोलो बदलो सोचो सीखो बोलो बदलो चमका दो दुनिया को जीत लो इस जहां को
सोचो सीखो बोलो बदलो सिर्फ मैथ्स ऑन रेडियो के साथ 107.8 FM मस्ट रेडियो पर
आपके साथ आरजे स्वाति और आप सुन रहे हैं 107.8 FM मस्त रेडियो। जी हाँ, और आज मैं बात करने वाली हूँ स्पोर्ट्स और मैथ्स के कनेक्शन के बारे में। जी हाँ, मैथ्स का नाम सुनते ही बहुत सारे लोगों के पसीने छूट जाते हैं, लेकिन मैं आपको बता दूं कि कुछ ऐसी चीजें मैं आपको बताने वाली हूँ, कुछ ऐसे मैथमेटिकल फैक्ट्स के बारे में बताने वाली हूँ जो कि आप स्पोर्ट्स में इस्तेमाल भी कर सकते हैं और इसका भरपूर फायदा भी उठा सकते हैं। जी हाँ, आज शो में कुछ ऐसी बातें मैं करूंगी जो फायदेमंद रहेगा उन बच्चों के लिए जो मैथ से बहुत डरते हैं। जी हाँ, नेक्स्ट शो में मेरे साथ रहेंगे पंकज और विश्वजीत जो कि बताएंगे द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ मैथ इन स्पोर्ट्स। तो बस सुनते रहिए।
Hello friends, welcome back again for another fresh episode of Maths on Radio. I am Pankaj and today we will talk to a very interesting personality. He is not only an officiating person in the game of cricket and he has been officiating with the Mumbai Cricket Association at various cricket matches. I'd like to introduce to you Vishwajit Marathe. Vishwajit, welcome.
थैंक्स पंकज।
Yes, उंगली करने की आपकी आदत पहले से थी जो आप अंपायर बन गए?
जी बिल्कुल, बचपन से।
तो आपको हमने इस एपिसोड में खास इनवाइट इसीलिए किया है बिकॉज वी वांट टू टॉक अबाउट your connection as far as umpiring is concerned and what sort of mathematics do you require on a regular basis while officiating any cricket match?
बिल्कुल पंकज, यहाँ पर मैं आपको एक बात कहना चाहूँगा कि फर्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फिगर, first very important number for every Indian is 125 crore because we do have 125 crore experts in our country.
As far as cricket is concerned.
Yes, everyone knows cricket. At least they believe so.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, technical aspect are a bit critical to understand, but people, they do love this game.
Right.
So, it is of immense responsibility that you shouldn't be making any mistake over there on field. Otherwise, you know what's your future.
It's a gentleman's game, but
no more gentlemen's, I would say.
But the umpire is always the receiving end.
Yeah, and that's inevitable part of my profession. But one thing I would like to tell you that as far as we all know that cricket is basically now bifurcated in three types: Test cricket,
right,
or you can call it as multi-day cricket, one-day cricket, and T20. That is one of the most popular form of cricket nowadays.
Correct.
So let's begin with T20 as it is a shorter format of the game.
Right.
And what you can say, it's an in-trend thing nowadays. you might be knowing various tournaments going on national, international level, as well as state level and domestic level as well. So 2020, there is not much calculations part.
Okay.
So because one thing is there that duration is very little.
Mhm.
One thing is there that even if you waste ample amount of time, still you have got enough time to complete that particular match.
Yes, and for our listeners, I like to explain this also. Wasting of time, Vishwajit, by that you mean that when you have a longer version of the game,
Mhm.
you also have to compare the number of overs lost as compared to the time wasted.
Yes, yes.
We'll talk about that in the second half because
Yes.
right now we're talking about T20.
Yeah.
So you mean to say in T20, because it's 3.5 hours game, even if you waste some time, it doesn't really matter. You complete 20 overs of one team, 20 of others,
Yeah.
and you get the result.
And what happens really in this, that no team is specifically intended to do so. I mean, they don't have a proper intention to waste time, I would
Correct.
say, because the game itself is so quick, so fast that you need to cope up with that particular pace of the game.
Correct.
And everyone is probably aware that every bowler gets maximum 4 overs.
Right.
So that limitation is there. You need to be more accurate rather than wasting time. Once you start doing all these activities, then you tend to lose focus on the game.
Uh-huh.
So instead, players, they are very professional. They focus on their game and they don't waste too much of time, and that reduces our headache as well.
Yes, but as an umpire, you have to make sure that 6 deliveries per over
Yes,
have been bowled.
yes.
So you use a counter for that, or you actually
Yes, we do use counter after every ball. That counter
clicks?
we click that
Right.
counter manually, and for confirmation between two umpires, they signal that 2 balls are left or 1 ball is left.
Okay.
So that is one more confirmation, one more way to provide accuracy in this particular game.
Right. Also, what about the number of overs for a particular bowler? You have to keep a note of that, or you have that mathematical concept, okay, this fellow has bowled 3, that fellow has bowled 2, this fellow has bowled 1. So you have to keep on making those basic calculations?
No, not really. Actually, there is a table, and you just put 1 mark as soon as one person completes his over. So you come to know that yes, this particular person has bowled 2 overs, this particular person has bowled 3 overs, while when again that person comes to bowl his last over, now I am saying his, actually there shouldn't be any gender discrimination.
His or her.
Yeah, his or her, or player. We would say player. If that player comes to bowl his 4th delivery, then umpire mutually says yes, it's his last over, 1. They
Right.
indicate by 1. And of course, you need to tell that to your player as well, that this is your last over. So even he's sure that I am not supposed to bowl
More than
for
that.
the over.
Correct.
So that's one part of calculation. And as you are aware, that 6 legitimate deliveries. Yes, critical things appear when a bowler has got that habit to bowl no ball and white balls. Then he may bowl 12, he may bowl 13, he may bowl, and at that pace, you tend to lose focus. That
So you have to understand how many legitimate deliveries have been bowled.
have been bowled. So that's one thing. Another thing is number of wickets, but nowadays that is flashing on the scoreboard, so you need not to. Otherwise, there are some special counters wherein you can make note of wickets as well.
Okay.
So that's a good thing to watch. More.
So basically, if I just recount a number of legitimate deliveries, 6. Now, if there are extra deliveries in the form of no or wide or other things, you have to make sure that 6 deliveries have been bowled. Number of overs per bowler.
Yeah.
That is one important thing, and the number of wickets.
Yeah.
So
and
that you
total
can-
number of overs as well.
Yes, so that the innings can be called.
Yeah. So, and now again, normally, I mean, there is no hard and fast rule, but normally they allow 4 minutes per over.
Okay.
So preferably an inning should get over in 80 minutes or max to max 90 minutes. So that is what the calculation goes.
Correct.
If it is a smaller version of the game can be very crisp and very entertaining, very tough competition between two teams, and that can be real treat for spectators.
Right. Moving on to another format, that is the one-day international.
Yeah.
The 50-over game, or limited over game as they call it.
Yeah.
Now there, does this proportionally the calculations become more difficult, or you have to work more harder on that?
Yes, calculation becomes more difficult nowadays. Two gentlemen, they always come to our rescue. Statistician Duckworth Lewis.
Okay.
So they set up the target, and umpires literally they don't have to calculate it on the field. So that's a good part out there. But again, it depends. Now various statistics and permutation combination comes in picture. Now 6 balls, that remains constant. 10 wickets, that is going to be there.
50 overs.
50 overs. Now 50 overs, again the proportion of bowlers limit increases from 4 to 10.
10, correct.
There is one more aspect which is of course there even in T20, that is known as power play.
Power play, yes.
But in T20 you need not to worry about that, because that is flat 6 overs power
First 6
play.
overs.
First 6 overs power play, there is no choice, no batting power play, no bowling power play, and your job is done.
But in the one day?
But in one day, first 10 overs are mandatory power play, and then comes your batting power play for 5 overs.
Which can be taken now, anytime.
Earlier it was, yes, there was a bowling power play as well, there was batting power play as well. So now bowling power play has been completely removed from the game, and now batting power play, they concentrate only on batting power play.
Which
but
is
that can
5
be
overs.
taken, yeah, but that can be taken from over number 11 till over number 50.
Okay, but then in that case, do they have to, if they don't take in between, will over number 35, 36 to 40 will be a compulsory power play?
Yes, yes, that is compulsory power play. Again, there are restrictions, fielding restrictions.
Exactly, yes. Number of players in the ring.
Yeah, when it is mandatory power play, 2 players can be, maximum 2 players should be out of 30-yard circle.
Okay.
So, so you don't see normally, now that is very interesting thing to, in 50,000 crowd, it is very difficult to spot a player at boundary rope.
Correct.
And if you go and count, yes, there are 2 players. You never know. One player might be behind you, and you may miss that no ball.
Right.
So easiest way to observe is inside 30-yard circle. You should find that there are 7 players.
Okay, including the wicketkeeper and the bowler.
No, not including. Apart from them.
Okay, okay.
So excluding them, there are 7 players, and normally these 7 players are very visible.
Okay, because they're in the 30-yard circle.
Yeah, they are in 30-yard circle. They come in your grid, and you just look at your umpire, look at your colleague, and you can find 3 players on leg side. That is a standard. I'm saying. You
4 players on the
yeah, 4 players are on offside. So these are typical positions.
Correct.
Again, there is one more thing, that in mandatory power play, 2 players should be in catching position.
In the first 10 overs?
Yeah, first 10 overs.
So, in the 7 players who are in the 30-yard circle...
out of which 2 players should be in catching position.
Okay, a catching position is any distance to denote?
Yes, that's 15 yards. Now, very within circle, you might have observed
yes.
from stumps, they take 15 yards.
Correct.
And if fast bowler is in operation, then it is very difficult to remain in 50 yards.
Right.
So, for sleep players, they can, the captain can push them a bit behind.
But they are considered as catching position?
Yes, because slip is normally in cricket is catching position.
Okay.
So now these all technical terms, that calculation comes in picture. So once you observe 7 players and there are 2 slips, fine, your job is over. Even gully can be considered as catching position.
Okay, but then the counting is important. Who is a player in the catching position? How many in that 15-yard circle?
Yeah.
How many in the 30-yard circle?
Yeah.
Now that is for the first 10 overs. That is the mandatory power play.
Yes. And when the matter comes to batting power play, there should be maximum 3 players out of 30-yard circle.
Okay.
So your job becomes more easy. You need to count only 6 players because there is no catching position compulsion over
in that time.
Yeah, in that time. So 6 players should be within 30-yard circle and your job is done.
Okay.
So these are various calculations for person. I mean, the best way to count players. Now, many a times it happens. Even that player doesn't realize that he's a 12th man.
Right.
Or say, for example, there is a substitute and rings break comes, and the player wants to come on the ground within that rings break. He may say to umpire that I'm coming. So umpire may assume that the substitute is going, but actually there is no communication with substitute. Substitute maybe unintentionally, maybe intentionally as well.
On the ground?
On the ground, because he has not been communicated by his captain
to go out.
So he will assume that okay, I am staying here. the original player is also in, and then all sort of trouble begins for umpires.
Because there can be 12 people on the field.
Yes.
Instead of 11.
Yeah. So umpire every time, the best way when they are gathered together to count them that they are level.
Okay.
Because boundary player, you may not be able to count,
Right.
or you may count him for twice.
Because of the crowd and the ambience, and
Yes,
it's
yes,
quite
yes.
far off.
So it is very difficult, and that's basically that's not your job. Your job is to give good decisions.
Yes, to officiate.
So, yes, to officiate the game. And though it is part of officiating the game, you don't expect these unexpected situations.
Correct.
So that is very rare seen though, and on international level it never happens. But still, one needs to be a little bit careful. If you never know, if domestic circuit you are officiating naughty team's game, then you need to be little more careful.
Exactly.
So that calculation comes in picture for one-day internationals as well. Now in one-day internationals, there is interruption. Then you need to reduce number of overs.
Oh, so you have to keep a track of the time as well.
Yes. Then you need to watch in your clock. Interval has started on, say, let's take an arbitrary number, 10:05.
Uh-huh.
And now it's over. What's the time? It's 11:15. So 1 hour and 10 minutes wasted.
It may be because of rain. It may be because of wet outfield.
Wet outfield. It may be because of you might be knowing many cases like public interventions. Your home side is losing and public cannot digest it. So they come
So
on
you
the
mean
ground.
to say that you have 3.5 hours roughly for a 50-over game,
Yes,
one innings.
One inning.
But if at all 45 minutes out of it are gone because of some sort of interruption, then what will be your calculation?
Now what happens? Normally they do keep 1 hour extra for that. For entire calculation,
Okay.
your number of overs starts reducing after that 1 hour.
So if there is a delay of minimum 1 hour or more,
Yeah.
then your overs will start reducing.
Yes. And then it starts with, preferably, if you have got 45 minutes odd lunch time,
Uh-huh.
then you remove 15 minutes out of it.
Okay, so that apart from that 1 extra hour, you take these 15 minutes also.
Yeah. So after that, the reduction begins.
Okay.
Then reduction takes place like for every 4 or 4.2 minute,
Uh-huh.
you reduce 1 over.
1 hour. Okay.
Now, if there is odd number which comes for reduction, now 50 and 50, that is 100 overs game,
Uh-huh.
and if situation comes where you need to reduce 27 overs,
Okay.
so the game will be of 73 overs.
Right, but how do you...
Yes, so you cannot do that. So in order to acquire maximum game,
Uh-huh.
maximum amount of game,
Uh-huh.
you will make it 74 overs game. You
And divide
won't
it
really-
between the two teams.
Yeah, so that will come 37 overs per side.
Okay.
And then more headache. Then your bowler limit changes,
Power play.
power play changes, batting power play changes, and every calculation goes haywire.
Because proportionally 50 overs, you have 10 overs per bowler.
Yeah,
Now in 37,
yeah. Then there's different calculations.
Uh-huh.
Then the formula applies. You need to calculate it with 0.3, and then to bifurcate it further, you need to count with 1.1.
Uh-huh.
So you can get clear bifurcation. How many overs of power play? How many for batting power play? How many for bowling power play?
Okay.
And the side, if already they have completed full 10 overs of
Uh-huh.
power play, then what you are going to do?
Right.
Then you need to reduce bowling power plays over. And if bowling power play is in progress, then you need to continue with that. And everything. If power play number of power play overs have already been exceeded.
Okay.
Suppose now 25 overs game.
Uh-huh.
Now let's take a rough calculation. You are going to get 8 overs of power play.
If it is reduced to a 25 over
25
game.
overs of
Some
game.
drain delay happened,
Yeah.
and your 50 over game has come down to 25
Yeah.
over per side.
So you get roughly 8
Eight.
overs of power play,
Okay.
which can be referred as 6 overs of batting power play, 2 overs of bowling power play.
Okay.
But what if this takes place after 10 overs?
Okay, it's a 50-over game.
Yeah.
10 overs already have been bowled.
Yeah.
And then the interruption comes.
That means 10 overs mandatory over. Now no one can forecast that rain will come and
Correct.
the game will curtail to 25 overs.
Uh-huh.
So 10 overs you have completed, so that side is benefited by 2, and you cannot give that benefit to other
To
side.
the other team. Okay.
Because other side is very well aware of the situation of the game. That it is 25 overs game and we have got 10 overs of power play and they can win the game within that 25 overs.
Right.
So everything comes in picture again when you go for Duckworth-Lewis calculation. They take even number of wickets
Into consideration.
If 1 wicket has gone at the same point, your score would have been this. If 9 wickets have gone down, your score would have been this.
And then the par score is given.
Yes, and you need to score 1 more run than that par score. So because you must be having that particular incident very fresh in your mind.
South Africa
and Sri Lanka, when he simply just knocked down a ball and that was a tie.
Assuming that they had
won the game
because they were equal to the par score.
Yes, so that calculation.
So it means that the players also need to have some basic mathematics knowledge.
Basic mathematics and application of rule, or the communication should be clear. That par score doesn't mean you have won the game. Par score means tie. You need to score one more than that. So that one more is very important.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of cases, as like in football, for example, if there's an injury break or something break, they add that 3 or 4 minutes at the end and complete the 90 plus those minutes. In cricket, do you have something like that?
Yes,
because
injury is inevitable part of
correct.
any game. So that has to be taken into consideration. And it no one does it deliberately.
Right.
It happens. And it is very inhuman to continue the game when
someone is injured.
And that takes time, say around 5 minutes to that particular person to leave the field. And probably very initial thing is the physio comes on field, he tries
some
to
treatment,
first aid and all. So that time should be taken into consideration, and that is a provision in cricket.
Okay.
Game as well.
You as an individual, did you like mathematics in school?
Never.
Okay.
Never. I mean, let me be very honest. I was not very great in academics, and all credit goes to maths. I was good in science, I was good in history. Now, even today, if you ask me some history of cricket, I guess not to the perfection, but at least I'll be able to give you a reference. But when mathematical calculation comes, I don't know what happens to me.
Okay. But then how did you manage to sort of, once you got into the profession of umpiring, did you feel that if you would have actually known mathematics a bit better, or you had been taught innovatively, probably you could have had more fun and more ease in your umpiring profession?
Now, a couple of things are there. There are some limitations when you learn academic maths.
Okay.
They cannot go too far beyond syllabus, teachers.
Right.
So there is limitation for them. But umpiring maths is not that difficult or rocket science.
Okay.
It's a format. It's a format. What it requires to calculate time, you need to have full knowledge of your clock. Many times it happens that people, they do say 12:20 plus 100 minutes, that is 120.
Oh, that is not
because that's a kind of tricky or confusing things.
Correct.
120 plus 100 minutes, 220. That's simple calculation we do. But 120 plus 100 minutes, it goes 3. So that
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. So that's how you need to be. And most of the times what happens when calculation part comes in picture, it is on a 24-hour clock basis.
And not 100, 200, 300.
Yeah, so that is 16:15. Interval arrives. Interval gets over at 16:32. So that 16:32 or 16:17,
right.
That means you need to know that it is 4:17 and it is 4:32. Many a times in that flow, we assume that it is 6:17 and 6:32.
Right.
Because that is a tendency. What I would say, people those who are not very great in maths, but this is basic.
Right.
So if your basic is clear, I guess counting 6 balls is not
difficult at all.
Difficult task. Scorers are there to count scores, even wickets they count, they put it on board. Many a times on international level, umpires they do signal scorer.
Correct.
That after 5 balls you can flash a light, so I'll come to know that yes, this is going to be the last ball. So they don't even count balls.
Okay, so you have to use a counter in that case.
So And that is what the requirement of the game. I mean, umpire says that I'm there to give good decisions, whether he's out or not out, or at what time game stops. I'm not going to calculate everything out there. I am not appearing for exams. So, but you can do such type of things once you are on certain level, not on domestic level.
Absolutely. Great, Vishwajit. It was really nice talking to you, and you explained your experiences and the basic calculations required by an umpire while umpiring any game of cricket. In our next episode, we will certainly talk to you about the test match cricket.
Oh, that's more interesting.
Yes, and we'll try to understand how the time and the calculation and the mathematics plays a big role. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks all.
सीमा, क्या हुआ? इतनी परेशान क्यों है?
क्या बताऊं, राज इस बार मैथ्स में फेल होते होते बच गया। बाकी के सब्जेक्ट्स तो ठीक है, कहानी भी ठीक ठाक पढ़ लेता है, खेलने में भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती, पर सिर्फ मैथ्स कितना भी पढ़ाऊं कुछ फायदे का होता ही नहीं।
तो उसे मैथ्स भी कहानियों के माध्यम से पढ़ाना।
वो कैसे?
देख, मस्त रेडियो 107.8 पे 28 फेब से रोज सुबह 9, दोपहर 1 और शाम 7 बजे अलग अलग समय पर मैथ्स पढ़ाया जाएगा। सुना है कि कहानियों का मदद भी लिया जाएगा।
अरे वाह, इससे तो राज को मजा भी आएगा और वो कुछ सीख भी लेगा।
अब से मस्त रेडियो पे अनोखी तरह से होगी पढ़ाई।
बस इतना ही। और जाते जाते मैं आपको बता दूं कि अगर आपने हमारा ये एपिसोड मिस कर दिया है तो आप लॉग इन कर सकते हैं हमारे वेबसाइट दैट इज mustradio.in। जी हाँ, mustradio.in पे, या फिर आप फेसबुक में भी हमारे सारे अपडेट्स जान सकते हैं। जी हाँ, हमारा फेसबुक आईडी है रेडियो मस्ट कम्युनिटी रेडियो। और अगर मेल भेजना चाहते हैं तो यू कैन मेल अस एट radiomust@gmail.com। तो फिर मैं हूँ आपके साथ आरजे स्वाति एंड दिस शो इज प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय किरण सावंत एंड एडिटेड बाय नीलेश पोतार। So bye-bye, take care and have a nice day.
अर्ज किया है
मुलाहिजा फरमाइए।
इरशाद। सदियों से एक जंग चली आई है, सदियों से एक जंग चली आई है, मैथ्स और स्टूडेंट्स की कभी न बन पाई है।
क्या बात है, क्या बात है, दर्द है इसमें, दर्द है। मुकर्रर, मुकर्रर।
सदियों से एक जंग चली आई है, सदियों से एक जंग चली आई है, मैथ्स और स्टूडेंट्स की कभी न बन पाई है। न समझ आया हमें साइन कॉस थीटा, न समझ आया हमें साइन कॉस थीटा, इसी चक्कर में पापा ने खूब है पीटा। अलजबरा से आखिर क्यों दिल घबराता है, अलजबरा से आखिर क्यों दिल घबराता है, जीरो हमेशा हमारे हिस्से ही क्यों आता है। सारे प्रॉब्लम्स को ब्रैकेट में बंद करके, सारे प्रॉब्लम्स को ब्रैकेट में बंद करके आज मैथ्स से दोस्ती कर ली हमने, क्योंकि ये बात हमें अच्छे से समझ आई है, क्योंकि ये बात हमें अच्छे से समझ आई है। हिसाब किताब तो भैया जीवन की परछाई है।
वाह वाह, क्या बात है, क्या बात है।
कर्म हो या पैसा हो सबका हिसाब चुकाना है, कर्म हो या पैसा हो सबका हिसाब चुकाना है। इसमें कोई गड़बड़ हुई तो ईश्वर ने अपना प्रकोप दिखाना है।
वाह वाह, वाह वाह, सुभान अल्लाह।
2 जीन्स, 3 कुर्ता, 5 शर्ट, 4 साड़ी और 2 टॉप्स, कितना हुआ?
2 जीन्स का 10 रुपया, 3 कुर्ते का 9 रुपया, 5 शर्ट का 10 रुपया, 4 साड़ी का 40 रुपया और 2 टॉप का 5 रुपया। मतलब हुआ 10, 9, 10, 40, 5, 74।
हाँ, ऐसे कैसे? रुक जरा, मैं कैलकुलेटर से चेक करती हूँ। हाँ रे, राइट बोल रही एकदम। तुझे कैसे इतना आता है?
बस क्या मैडम, रेडियो सुनने का और इस्त्री करने का।
मतलब?
अरे मैडम, वो रेडियो पे आता है ना 107.8 पर, मैथ्स ऑन मस्त रेडियो। 9 बजे, 1 बजे, 7 बजे आप सुनो और बच्चों को भी सुनाओ मैडम।
दोस्तों, आज के लिए बस इतना ही। मैथ्स से जुड़ी जानकारियों के लिए सुनते रहिए हमारा प्रोग्राम मैथ्स ऑन रेडियो। अगर आप भी मैथ्स के बारे में कुछ जानना चाहते हैं या फिर हमें कुछ बताना चाहते हैं तो तरीका बहुत ही आसान है। आप हमें ईमेल कर सकते हैं radiomust@gmail.com पे, या फिर आप लॉग इन कर सकते हैं हमारे फेसबुक पेज पर mathsonradio@must। टिल देन, टेक केयर।
This is Must Radio, only on 107.8 FM.
Maths on Radio, a program catalyzed and supported by National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Department of Science and Technology, New Delhi.